Now, as Ryan, Trenton, and Sean grab your attention towards the world of sports, food, and entertainment, and away from the things that are probably more important, we apologize for nothing and anything that may be spoken, learned, or forgotten today. This is the Real Tree Shaker Show.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Tree Shaker Show. I'm Ryan.
Trenton's not here, so I am Sean. Oh, I forgot the crickets button. But anyways, they're on vacation too. But Ryan, welcome back.
Yes.
And welcome.
It's good to
Let
be
me
back.
welcome everybody back to the Real Tree Shaker Show, the 63rd edition of the RTShow. And we have our 1-year anniversary coming up here at the end of the month.
Yes.
So
excited about that.
Yes, we'll try to do something special, maybe somewhat special. I don't know. That's just kind of our forte. But yeah, Ryan, welcome back.
Thank
Ryan
you.
missed last episode as he was tearing it up with the familia at a nice resort.
Yes.
Glad to have you back.
It was great. Thanks. Glad to be back. Miss you guys. Wish I could have been there, but I was busy sipping on a pina colada floating down a river. So.
Yeah, you poor bastard. Poor bastard.
Damn.
Yeah. No, it was pretty cool. I mean, you guys, so it had what? The indoor water park?
Yeah. Indoor water park. It has an outdoor water park. It has a little adult area called a grotto with an indoor swim up bar, an outdoor swim up bar with like a DJ and a bunch of cabanas around. That's really cool. And it's just huge, man. It's a nice resort. It's got like 6 restaurants in it, like nice restaurants, every food type. It's got like an ice cream shop. It's got dessert shops. It's got all kinds of stores in it. It's basically, you can live in it. So it has everything you need. It's like its own little zip code, basically. So really cool. Definitely recommend it.
That is
cool for the fam.
Sweet. Heck yeah. So you went with the kids, right?
Kids, Marie, my mom, her brother, and his girlfriend.
Cool.
So
there you go.
A lot of us.
Hey, that's all right. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yep. And I expected you to be a little darker, honestly. You know,
I spent more time on the indoor for sure. So it's air conditioned.
totally get that. Save the burn for when you go to the beach.
Yeah, we're not as lucky as you. We're getting the 106 degree weather this whole week. So
tell you what, last 2 days below 80 degrees up here, and the humidity has been non-existent. It's been fantastic.
That's nice.
No, but you know what that means? That just means there's a makeup day or two coming where it's absolutely brutal.
Uh-oh.
It's just destined to happen.
Sucks.
So we missed it yesterday, Ryan, but yesterday was National Bobby Bonilla Day, where he gets his annual payment from the Mets. Still,
how nice.
$1.19 million a year he gets.
Yep. Still has 11 more years of it, so it must be nice.
Isn't that crazy? You know, and like there's a bunch of players that, like Ohtani is only getting $2 million a year from the Dodgers, and then when his contract runs out in 2034, he's going to get the deferred payment of $680 million.
Yeah,
but
that's a nice chunk of change.
But the smart thing that the Dodgers did compared to the Mets, what a shock, is they made Ohtani's deal an interest-free deal.
Yeah.
See, back in the day when Bonilla signed his contract, it was the richest. It was the richest contract in sports. This is back in 91.
Yeah.
So when he signed his deferment, I think it was like 8% interest. So it went from like $5 million to over $25 million. So
he was smart.
Well,
or
he was.
I mean, it's not too hard to outsmart the Mets. So
it is the Mets. Every time I hear the Mets in the front office, this is rude.
Right.
That's how they respond.
Yeah.
So, or maybe this one. I don't know. So
True.
we'll see.
True.
But how sweet would that be? But speaking of guys getting fat contracts, the NBA free agency period also started yesterday.
Yes.
With the biggest name being, I guess, Paul George signing the big deal with the
The
Sixers to
Sixers. Yeah.
join Embiid and Maxey. What are your
Right.
thoughts on? Does that make them the favorite over Boston?
You know what? I mean, they're still not the favorites. Boston has a much better core, and they did re-sign Tatum, Derek White. They're keeping their core. Tatum making just a crazy amount of money, 314 mil over 5 years. But I think it does improve the Sixers. It's just I gotta see Paul George do it because when he joined the Clippers, they're gonna be awesome. There's a big three, in Clipperland, never really panned out, and then I just got to see it first. I don't know. I know Sixers were smart. They extended Maxi and signed and maxed him out, and so that's going to help for sure. And I think the Sixers will be a force, but I still think the Knicks getting Bridges was a huge deal for them. Because I think it can be more about chemistry sometime. I mean, you got 4 dudes that played college ball together there now, that have played like at least 1 year together of college ball, and I think that's gonna help them. So Sixers are in that combo, but they're still not above the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can blame George entirely for the Clippers
I don't.
because
No.
Kawhi
True.
Leonard's missed like
True.
60%
True.
of the game since he signed, and he
True.
wanted Paul George. So,
True.
but no, good for George. Go where you want to, and don't feel
Yeah.
like you have to stay anywhere. But yeah, you join the Sixers, and it's always about Embiid. He's
Sure.
never healthy for the playoffs.
I know.
So it's like I think they should just not play him the first 25 games next year.
Yeah, I'd sit
Be
him
like,
half the season.
or it's
I'd
like,
say play in
okay,
40 games. Okay, cool.
it's like, yeah, you're not going to win any awards, but do you want to get to at least the conference finals for the first time in your career? So
Yep.
sit him out a big third of the year, and then he plays like every other game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
So,
Yep.
and Maxey is fantastic. That kid is amazing.
Yeah, he's going to be really good soon.
Yep. So Jason Tatum, he got his big fat payday with the richest contract in NBA history, which broke his teammates' record from the previous year, Jaylen Brown's contract. So, I mean, it was kind of inevitable that Boston was going to do it. But we'll talk a little bit about these contracts for the Celtics later, and they re-upped Derek White, which is another good move. He was solid. He'd be a number 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, they kept their
teams.
core. They were smart to do that. The C's were smart to keep their core. I mean, they probably got the best top 1 to 6 or 7 in the league. Probably, I mean, in my mind, probably if you look at their top 6-7 guys, it's probably the best in the NBA right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Can they repeat? I don't know. Even the Celtics never did a repeat with their big 3. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I mean, it's tough in any sport to repeat.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, the core is great. But it's weird how it's just the market changing with Tatum. With Brown getting Eastern Conference Finals MVP and NBA Finals MVP, but Tatum got like an extra 30 mil over what Brown got, I think.
Market improvement, and then Tatum did average more points and rebounds and assists in the finals than Brown. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, the debate's there, and they finally won.
Numbers are better.
Yeah, who gives a rip? So let's say with the Celtics is the owner, which is a pretty smart move, is capitalizing on the 18th championship of the franchise, and the Celtics have been put up for sale. What we saw online was that estimated right now for $5 billion. And like we were talking earlier, Steve Ballmer, like you said, Ryan, overpaid for the Clippers. He paid $9 billion.
Right.
But do you think $5 billion is the right price for the Celtics?
No, I'll go over. I'd go 7 to 10. That's what I see it, at least, The value of the franchise, I mean, it's nationally known. They're pretty much, they're they're a landmark NBA franchise, So if it's not the Lakers, it's the Celtics. So or the Knicks. I mean, you can throw the Knicks in there too, obviously, but those three teams pretty much carry the weight of the NBA on them a lot of times. So um I don't see how they go for just 5 or under that. It's going to be like, I think in my mind I see him about 8 to 9 billion is about where I see him going at. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, they have their core, their top 7 or
Right.
8 coming back. So
Sure. So you're buying a winning franchise,
right. So you're going to be
normally,
in the mix.
yeah. It's not like you're buying the Hornets or anything, You're sitting
Michael
over
Jordan.
here buying exactly. You're sitting here buying the Celtics, So pretty you're going to get a pretty good deal, and I'm sure you're going to see a lot of return on that too. So
yeah. So if you could buy a piece of any franchise, what franchise would you buy?
in the NBA?
No. Any sport, any of the major sports.
Well, shit, I hate them, but I mean the Cowboys. I mean,
You're just
they're
going after that dollar.
They're money makers. I mean, if you want to talk about, yeah, of course, Braves, Bucks. Who do you? I mean, that's what I'd want. But if I'm talking about what's going to bring me the most money, sure, I'm going to see it from a financial standpoint and say, your Lakers, your Cowboys, your Yankees,
Yeah,
Celtics,
but
even
I mean,
Knicks.
if you've got that much money to buy the team, you don't need anymore. It's not like, oh, I spent all my money on this franchise. I hope I have enough money for bread.
But they're billionaires for a reason. They're smart with their money. So they're gonna make the wisest,
and then they're stingy
decision.
with it too.
Exactly.
Stingy bastards.
Exactly. So that's why, I mean, Bill Gates isn't driving around in some, he probably doesn't have 30 cars. There's a reason Bill Gates hasn't been on cribs. So, I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's mind blowing in the first place.
But I mean, it's I mean, he's not exactly flaunting his dollars, so but they don't live like that, it's weird. They're very frugal, and I mean, you see why they're billionaires. So
yep, I get it. But I would totally go Braves, man.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I get to watch baseball every day.
Yeah, I'd buy the whole franchise if I was a billionaire. I mean, you could in baseball for sure. I'd love that.
Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
Definitely. So another big move, I think that is going to have some pretty big value is Klay Thompson going to the Dallas Mavericks. 3 years, $50 million. I mean, I don't think it makes Dallas a favorite, but it's definitely keeping them in that top 5 or 6 range in the Western Conference.
Sure. I think they were kind of on a magical run last year, and I don't know that they can repeat that. I feel like it was just those teams that have those magical runs, those Cinderella runs. You see them every year, and I don't know that they can sustain that. I mean, we'll see if it carries over into this next season, but I mean, you're never wrong. You're never, it's never a bad deal when you add a Hall of Fame guard to your, or forward to your lineup to help out with Luka and Irving, and he can be the guy that kind of just facilitates and hits a few shots every once in a while. Luka will find him wide open for some threes. Irving will find him open for some shots. So good deal for him, and I do think it makes the Mavs a better team, at least on paper. So we'll see if it carries over, and man, the West is going to be good this year. So
they loaded, and I think. Do you think he starts for the Mavericks?
Oh yeah.
You do? Okay,
I do. Do you don't think he does?
I think he could be like a contender for 6th man of the year. I mean, everybody's
Possibly.
he had a down year, but he still averaged 18 points, almost
Yeah.
40% from three. And post All-Star game, he was at like
Sure.
45% from three. So, and I think he's going to be motivated to stick it,
Sure.
show the
Sure.
Warriors. But so do you think the Warriors run is over, or do you think they're
Oh
going to be
yeah.
able to retool?
Warriors done. This is it. This is, Steph Curry's swan song. I don't know if he's feeling he's close to retirement, but yeah, this is it. This is you know, Warriors aren't winning the championship. That was a magical run. Speaking of that they had in 22. So I think that was kind of their swan song there. Pretty much that they knew that was it at that point. So, um, yeah, I don't see the Warriors contending. I don't think they even make the playoffs or the play in even.
Yeah, it sucks because Curry's phenomenal, and you'd
Sure.
love to see him go out with a chance to contend.
Right.
Because even when the guy won, it was still doubted. And he's the greatest
Sure.
shooter of all time. And I
Yeah.
mean, the NBA is
Yeah.
played the way it is now, basically because of Steph Curry.
Right.
So.
Right.
And thank you, Minnesota Timberwolves, for passing over him twice in that draft, as we took Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio.
How'd that work out?
Flynn flop, but Rubio had a
was
decent career.
He was
He had a
decent.
decent.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fun to watch. Wasn't the greatest shooter, but yeah, he could have had the greatest shooter of all time. But
Right.
who's to say that every team gets it right in the
Sure.
draft?
Sure.
Well, it wouldn't be an NBA talk if we didn't talk Lakers. Other than drafting.
Speaking of draft,
yeah.
Speaking of flops,
yeah, Connect, the kid from Tennessee, was a good draft pick.
Sure.
I thought for them.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, drafting Bronny. What the hell are the Lakers doing? Like, LeBron hasn't signed a new deal. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to go play for the Lakers.
Yeah. All those free agents passed over, on the Lakers. So, I mean, I think you look at it and I don't know, man. I mean, it's a lot of LeBron influence. He's going to resign there. I think pretty much them not signing any free agents basically said that they're going to, LeBron's going to be able to get that max deal. And it's going to affect the team. I mean, you talk about the Warriors. I mean, I don't know that the Lakers are playoff team either. I mean, they're certainly not top 5 or 6. They're playing for the playing game again, and I don't know. I don't see it happening for them this year. So, but
no, the only thing the Lakers have done is extended Max Christie on a 4-year, $32 million deal.
Yeah,
but
not much else.
No. I mean, they lost. Well, D'Angelo Russell, he opted into his contract, but they don't really have any pieces to trade. I mean, Austin Reeves is a good player. Connect will do well. I mean, I don't know how this whole Bronny thing is going to work out. I mean, it's just
they're essentially the same team as last year, and they barely made the play-in game. So
right, and LeBron and Anthony Davis aren't going to play that many games.
Sure,
Anthony Davis had a career high in games played this year, so it's like with his history, you're not expecting it to continue. But any other moves that you liked?
Well, I did like Isaiah Hartenstein to the Thunder. I thought that was a good pick for them. I thought them getting him a good big man. Yeah, I think he was only like, 9 points, 10 boards a game for the Knicks, but man, just a good overall big man for them that'll play well, play hard, and give them size. That's what they needed. They were
He's
a
good
team.
passer too.
Yeah,
he's a really good passer.
Yeah, they were a small team, and I thought he was a solid player. And one kind of I'd mentioned Bridges to the Knicks. Great pickup for them too.
Oh,
yeah, it's gonna help them.
I think that's my favorite move of free agency.
Yeah, I definitely like that one.
I was almost Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I was hoping that the T-Wolves would maybe have done a sign trade, for Bridges for for Karl Anthony
Yeah.
Towns, or same thing for Paul George. I would have taken Paul George for Karl Anthony Towns,
Really?
but
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know about that.
yep.
We'll see. And one flying under the radar, Chris Paul to the Spurs. So I know that's not a huge deal, and he's he likes punching guys in the dick, but it's
I was gonna
he
say
he's
balls puncher like you had said before, but okay.
but he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great point guard. Um, I think he's going to be a great addition. Pop likes him. He's going to kind of show Wemby what having a good point guard on your team is. The Spurs don't really have that now. They have a bunch of shooting guards playing point guard, so I think that's going to help Wemby out, and help develop him even more. So kind of an under the radar move. He's not going to do much. He's only going to play about 20 minutes a game, but I think he'll kind of set the tone for what a point guard should be for Wemby. So
Yeah, that's a good
interested in
call.
that one for sure.
That's a good call. I'm surprised they didn't try to make a move for like Donovan Mitchell, who re-upped
Yeah,
with the
they
Cavs.
talked to him. Yep, they talked to him, but no move didn't happen. So
Yeah, well, the NBA, it takes time to
sure,
build a team, and trust me,
sure.
I know. I know
Yeah.
about that. So it's been
Yes.
a long time coming. Well, last night, the three of us, Ryan, were freaking pumped up, ready for
Oh
some
yeah.
Copa Cup action.
Yes.
And then the USA happened.
Yes.
What the hell? I mean, the first game looked great. Should have probably won more.
Here was the
But
U.S. team last night. That's what they laid. Pretty much a nice wet fart on the field.
yeah, I don't know how I can compete with that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Disappointing to say the least. Just
Yeah.
I mean, we got outshot 12-4, and I thought we were good at being aggressive, but it just really I don't know, man. I think it sucks, but we're getting into the World Cup because we're a host country, not because we're deserving in 2 years, That's why we're getting in. Why we're ranked 11, I have no idea. We're literally against the top 20 in FIFA. We're 5-7-2. 4 of those 5 wins are against Mexico. That's like the only team we ever beat. We're 1-7-2 against the rest of the top 20 in FIFA. That's
Yeah.
Burkhalter's career right there. That's his career. So
Well, we're 7-7-1 since he came back. So
yeah,
it's like
has he made an improvement? No, I think it's spend the money, go pay a coach $15 million a year, someone that's winning, that's doing awesome. You have the money. U.S. Soccer has the money. Pay someone to coach this team and get them better.
I mean, it's just I don't want to talk about the ref, but that guy
Yeah, he
sucked.
sucked. Yeah,
That was horrible. I mean, all the missed calls and the yellow card, like not giving yellow cards, showing a yellow card but letting play
and
continue.
then letting him play. Yeah, I was like,
I mean, the offsides call on the goal, I mean, come on,
yeah.
that should not have happened. I mean, it didn't matter.
True, but we think MLB umpires are bad, or NFL refs. Man, go watch a soccer game. You want to see some horrible referee?
Yeah,
Go watch it.
How do you have that guy with that least experience when they put it on the primetime game? Everybody's watching. How do you have the least experience of the group, of the referee pool, doing that match? And it's like, can't you make, if there's substitute in soccer, there should have been a substitute of refs at halftime. Because that was, I mean, you don't want to blame the refs because, we didn't, we started great that first 25 minutes. It was intensity and urgency, and they were forcing the issue, and then it was like they were getting afraid to lose, like they didn't want to make the mistake, and
Yeah.
some guys played really good. I thought Pulisic played great, Reyna played great, um, Robinson played really good. McKinney's been struggling. Tyler Adams
Yeah.
had a really good
He
game.
did. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think they played horrible, but Uruguay was faster than us. They were faster getting to the ball. They had a couple guys that when they got the ball, they beat our guys
Dela
consistently.
Cruz.
That's why they got 12 shots. Why don't we have that guy? We don't have a dude that's as fast as him to get it. Pulisic, I get it. He can beat anyone off the ball or with the ball, you know, shuffling around, but where's our speed guy coming from the outside?
Well, that's Weah, but he was suspended for,
But
his
is he that?
action.
Did he show anything really in the previous games he played? I didn't see much. So
yeah, I don't know. And I didn't get what Matt Turner was doing with the ball. Like he would just hold on to it and then kick it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Or he'd splice one like my golf shot.
Yeah,
off the
I
side
saw
of
that.
foot.
That went out of bounds.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, so that forced possession into the U.S. end a lot, and Uruguay just totally controlled that game. But
they did.
I mean,
they did.
It's really frustrating, and with us being the host country, well, what's cool about the World Cup in a couple years is Canada, U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah,
all hosted games, so that's pretty dope.
We're all getting in, but we've got to make the changes now. We got 2 years to build, and really a year and a half to build a team ready for that. So I think you got to start over now if you're going to do it, or you're never going to do it. So it's time.
It's very disappointing. But the Euro Cup's going on, and that has just been amazing. Amazing so far.
Yes.
And the big matchup that's coming up is Spain and Germany.
Yes.
Cannot wait for that.
Why do you see that's something that means something to someone,
Yeah. Like, why do you think we haven't, the U.S. as a country, as a soccer program, why do you think we haven't been able to catch up or make that next step forward? Because it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back for us as a soccer country. What do you think we're missing? Do you think it's just a coach, or we that far behind the rest of the world?
I think that's a big part of it. Another part I think is that I just don't know that we're developing the athletes for it either. We're not developing these stars that the other teams have. Pulisic definitely won, but where are these other guys playing at? They're not playing in the Euro leagues. They're playing in the MLS. And I'm not downgrading the MLS. I'm just saying, is it the Premier League in Germany and Europe, and it's not the best in the world. It's a top league. I get it, but is it the best in the world? Not really. It's a way for older guys like Messi to make a shit ton of money and still play soccer and be a star. But I don't know, man. I think I think it's got to start with the coach, and then there's got to be some kind of program put in place to develop the players to become better, because we do really well. I always see in the under 18, we show pretty well against the world in the under 18. I mean, we're one of the top 10 teams usually in that. But then after that, it's like, I'm done with soccer, I guess. I don't know what happens to them. I don't know. So
I'll tell you what it is. All the best athletes are playing football and basketball and baseball. So imagine if Tyreek Hill was a striker or a right wing for the U.S. team.
Yeah, I know.
Like, how much better does he make him?
The speed.
I mean, there's tons of guys. Like, take Michael Harris from the Braves.
Yeah.
Or like Dela Cruz. What if Ellie Dela Cruz was a U.S. soccer player with his speed and power? it'd be a totally different game
Oh, for
because
sure.
I just don't think the appeal is there because one, there's been like no success, and I don't think you're looking at all these NBA contracts, these NFL contracts, baseball contracts. Like you don't make that much as a U.S. soccer player.
Sure. Sure. That's all about the money.
All about the Benjamins.
Yep.
So
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, something's got to be done about it. So we'll see.
You got a favorite for the Euro Cup?
Man, I like Spain, but man, I probably will say Netherlands. I think they're just strong, man.
The Dutch, huh?
I do, man. I like them, dude. I think they're playing good. I mean, I would love to see England win something like that. That'd be really cool. But man, I like the Netherlands. I don't know.
They struggled, man. They struggled. They have struggled, but I mean, the matchups. I
feel they'll just put it on now. I feel like now it's elimination single. Right, it is now single eliminate. So I don't know. They face Turkey. So
Friday you got Spain and Germany, and then you got Portugal and France. So two of the top 4 power countries are going home, and then England, Sweden, or Switzerland, my bad, and Ryan's Dutch versus Turkey. So
Switzerland has played well too.
Yeah,
the Swiss have played good too. So I mean, it's really going to be, some good soccer.
Well,
the U.S. should watch that shit and learn something.
England is plus 124.
Wow, yeah,
to win that game. So
yeah, I believe it, as well as the Swiss have played.
But England still has the best odds. England, Spain, France, Germany, Netherlands are the top 5 for the odds makers in Las Vegas.
Wow.
So, I mean, just come on, US, just do something, because it's like I love when it's in different countries, and you'd have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to watch a game, or it's at 11 o'clock at night. That's like one of the
these are early afternoon games.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, at some point, do you lose luster in watching the U.S. in the World Cup? Like, I mean, of course, I always support them, but it's like, do you really want to keep into it as much? So,
I mean, if as disappointing as they've been, I probably always will, but I know a lot of the country won't keep watching it, because it's hard. It's hard when they keep disappointing us. So that's why I say they got to go out and spend the money and get, a big name coach and really work on their program and developing players, and I think, like you were talking about the money too, and a lot of them may not want to move to Europe to play too. I mean, that's one thing. You're gonna have to live over there for half your year. So are you willing to do that? A lot of them see it, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but most of them are getting that call when they're like 18, 19, 20 years old. It's like, why not? Like, odds are you're probably not married and don't have any kids, so just go.
Right.
Like, I think that'd be awesome to just go overseas and learn other cultures and play against the best competition. I mean, I think that's how you get better. So
I wish something like this would just wake they just need to be woken up, the U.S. soccer team, with this, That's what they need.
That's right. Or BDA, and they're giving the pregame speech,
right?
But
exactly.
I don't know. BDA, if BDA was there, man, I think he would have taken out that ref.
True.
That ref would have been.
Oh, I would have slide tackled him and broke his Achilles.
Elbowed. Broke his Achilles. They snap it like a twig.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. What do you want to talk about next?
How about the WNBA? Why
You are
not?
the official spokesperson for the WNBA.
No, I just saw it announced. This is pretty recent, but they're gonna do the WNBA All Star team is gonna face the Team USA women's team. So, um, definitely interested in that to see, because obviously we know who's on the WNBA All Stars or the team, the US team, and it's not Caitlin Clark, but she is on the WNBA All Stars. So I'm interested to see how those two. I really want to see the All Stars beat the US team, just for shits and giggles. But it would definitely be a cool thing to see, to see that team win. So interested in watching that, actually. So kind of can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you. Like you said, let's see what they got. This,
Sure.
you know, is supposedly the best draft class of all time for the league. So, let's see if those the older veterans of the WNBA are ready to lose their torch of
Yeah.
carrying the league, and is it time to pass it on? But yeah, I think they'll have a chip on their shoulder, and it gives them
Sure.
something to work for, work towards, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese can mend their feelings for each other. Their rivalry can get put on
Sure.
pause as they try
Sure.
to take out Team USA. But
Sure. I think it'll be fun. What do you think about Mahomes getting his name on the tech field? Did you see that? I sent you all that
I saw
picture.
that. Yeah. I
It's
think it's
got the
cool.
Mahomes logo. First
You
time
know, I
ever a player's had his logo on on a team field.
and he had a losing record while there. So
Right, I know. Pretty wild, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure
yeah. No, it's really
they can't be
cool.
upset making the money.
I love Michigan, but I do root for Texas Tech. I have, part of my heart and growing up was, tied to Lubbock. So,
Yeah.
with my dad, being up there as a
Sure.
sportscaster and
Sure.
uh, going to a game every year just to
Yeah.
see it, beautiful campus, beautiful women, really cool baseball
Yes.
field, and just a cool town, man. Really cool town.
Yeah.
Boring ass
Yeah.
drive. Straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the most exciting drive. A lot of red dirt, a lot of wind, but you know what? It's the campus has grown. Like, I mean, I know you haven't seen it in a while, but it's enormous now. It's huge. Field's nice. I was there a few years ago, when we were in training for a job of mine, and we went to a tech game while we were
Oh,
up there,
cool.
and it was really nice. So it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, great for them. We'll see if it translates into wins. I don't know, but they don't have to worry about Oklahoma and Texas anymore in their conference. So
Yep, that's
we'll see
true.
if that helps.
I always loved Jones Stadium when they kicked the extra point and would always bounce off the plexiglass,
Yeah.
from the suite or whatever that was
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah.
So,
That was always
do you
cool.
want to hear? Since you missed our hobby horse discussion
Yes.
last week, I have another horse story. But one time when we were there, me and my dad checking out a game, I can't remember who they were playing, but they have always had the real dark black horse that the Red Raider
Yeah.
rides out on, the human. And it was running around, and all of a sudden it just kicks the girl off and then just takes off down the huddle or down the tunnel
Yeah.
and supposedly just runs straight into a wall, and it broke its neck. And it's just like, a couple people with some minor injuries, but you're just like, what the hell? It's like you're actually watching it live. It's like you didn't even need Sports Center, and you're just
They
like,
didn't
what the
mention that, I
hell?
bet.
Yeah, but I
Wow.
remember that. Yeah, I think it was probably 11 or 12 years old, so a
Wow.
long time. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I think it's really cool, and you're going to see a lot more of that from
Sure.
players. But,
Sure.
it's smart for Mahomes. He did a player-friendly deal for the Chiefs, and he's making all his money in endorsements. So
Yeah, take notes, LeBron. That's how you win championships,
definitely. I mean, just follow Brady's lead,
Yeah,
But
exactly. That's what Mahomes is doing, pretty much following the Brady guidelines to winning. So we'll see. Man, I'm really sad that the All-Star game's in Arlington this year, and I can't go to it. I really want to go. Tickets are super expensive. It would just be cool to be there for that experience. It's gonna suck because it's hot, but I'm sure they'll have the roof on the place. I wouldn't think there'd be any way they have the roof open for any time during 108-degree weather. So, but I'm really sad that we couldn't all go down there and see it. It'd be really cool,
hey, well,
really
you know
close.
what? The All-Star game's in Atlanta next year.
Yeah,
So
I would. That'd be a dream to
that's
go to
something to
that.
look forward to. So we
Yeah,
got a good while we got
maybe
our
we do
boys
our
trip.
2-year anniversary there. Our
That'd
2-year
be cool.
in Atlanta.
Why not? When in Rome.
Right? Yes.
When in Rome. Okay, so I don't know if you saw the comments that Malik Hooker had on that podcast. So I got to ask you first.
No.
He said, like, basically saying you got to pay CD Lamb first, then you got to pay Dak,
Yeah.
and then he was like, well, Mike Parsons has got a lot to prove. He's got a lot of talent, yada yada. So he would put him third. So you're the resident Cowboy homer of the show, Jerry Jones. Who do you prioritize if you're Dallas?
I agree with CeeDee Lamb, but I would put Parsons second. I think he's a difference maker on defense, and you got to have that now. I think Dak's had a chance to prove himself, and he just hasn't done it. He can't get it done in the playoffs. I don't care what year, how many chances do you get? I just don't know. I don't know. And then you're going to sign him to pay him $60 million a year. I mean, to go 11-6 or 12-5, whatever, and lose in the first or second round of the playoffs. I don't know. He's got to prove himself. He has to. He has to prove himself that he can win. So CD first for sure, because that dude's probably going to be the number one receiver in the NFL this coming year, I think, fantasy wise and stat wise. And then Parsons, just difference maker on defense. Bummer, it may not show up on the stat sheet, but man, that dude, he gets double teamed. You know what I mean? He makes that difference on defense, and I think you gotta lock him up too for a while. So that could be distant third for me.
And they got Zach Martin too. He's looking for a new deal too. And your head coach has the head coach only has
I've never believed in McCarthy. I thought he got lucky in that Super Bowl he got. Aaron Rodgers pretty much won it for him, and I just don't know that he could ever get back there, So I don't know.
Rodgers hasn't done anything without McCarthy.
I will say that he's won some games at least. He can't he can say that, but
yeah, but he's always labeled as the most talented and the most gifted quarterback we've seen.
Sure,
but just not enough wins. Yeah, he's got one, but
sure,
Rodgers is better than Eli Manning, and Manning's got 2.
Sure. Roethlisberger has 3. Would you put him above any of those guys?
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, I love the conundrum in Dallas because they can't trade him, they can't franchise him. He took a pay cut to drop the cap hit from 59 to 55 million. So, but why not? Dak. It's all about getting your money.
How would you prioritize him?
I would pay him each $100 million a year, and then that way the Cowboys can use nothing but the USFL players. Right. I don't know. As much as I like to see Dallas,
it's the UFL now. UFL.
Oh, my bad. Oh, Sorry, Jim Kelly. But no, I mean, who's your next option? You know, because a lot of these quarterbacks are getting locked up long term. Who's
I don't
your
know. You hope you talk to Dak and say, "Look, if we re-sign you to a long-term deal and pay you this money, are you going to take a pay cut, take less money per year, maybe over and put incentives in there?" I I could see paying him 45 mil a year. Cool. 60 mil a year? No. 45 mil a year? Yeah, cool. Hey, I'd be good with that. And then the make it a incentive, you know, in a incentivized deal where he can earn it through stats, and
well, I mean,
wins.
he was in the top 5, right, for MVP voting, so he had
Sure.
a really good year.
Sure. Sure.
It's just he couldn't match or do anything. I don't
Yeah.
think he did anything against Green Bay. So,
He did
I
in the
don't know.
second half
Well, yeah, when it was all pass anyways.
when
So,
it didn't matter. So, but so what MLB baseball trades do you see happening before the deadline?
well, I mean,
Anything?
I would always say Mike Trout, but you don't know how he's going to be coming back from the injury. Um,
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, does San Diego make a move? Like, they're always in the
Maybe.
buyer sweepstake, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Yankees, I think, got to be aggressive and get somebody, but Deli Cruz, I'm watching Sports Center again.
Oh yeah, where he just
His triple. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yankees, I mean, do the Orioles try to make a splash? I mean, Phillies. I mean, who do you see? Like, do you see any of the top players in the league being moved?
No, not a lot of top guys. I was reading about the Astros wanting to make some moves. They're looking at pitching, a lot of pitching because they lost Javier and JP France for the year. And Verlander's been hurt for most of the year too, so they were looking at Tyler Anderson from the Angels and Eric Fetty from the White Sox. Two guys that have pitched really well, probably over what was to be expected this year for them. So, um, Dodgers, I know, want Crochet from the White Sox, and they were also looking at Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays. So, um, we'll see. I heard the Rays might be sellers too, and they got a lot of young talent, so they might
Yeah, they
be
do.
getting rid of a lot of guys. So um, we'll see what happens there. So, but
Isn't that crazy though that the Dodgers are just constantly trying to make moves and
yeah,
they're the Dodgers and they have the highest payroll in baseball and
yeah. Well, there was a story about the Rangers too. I was watching earlier how they might be sellers. They're 9 games out of first place and 6 games out of the wild card, and they have a lot of older guys that that their contracts in after this year. So, is Scherzer probably is nearing retirement. He probably should, with his health and everything always being an issue. A lot of those guys. How much do they even bring DeGrom back in August if they're out of contention? Why even bring him back? I don't know. I guess you could to get the work in, but would you risk it? I don't know. He
mm-mm.
still has 4 more years left on his deal, so you probably just let him rest the rest of the year. So
What
um,
Scherzer's making like 54 million this year
yeah,
from
yeah,
3 different teams.
yeah. I'm like he's getting paid regardless, but I don't blame him for that. But we'll see. I know that a lot of these teams are going to be sellers, so we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm curious to see what the Braves look at. I think they're definitely going to be a team looking to make some moves. So we'll see.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
it's all about adding depth and having
Yeah,
a nice rotation.
I've heard the Braves looking at Bo Bichette too. Because Arcia hasn't exactly been blowing it away this year. So Bichette maybe he needs a new park to play in, and
He's had a kind of a down year too.
He's had a really down year. So maybe that'll be a move that they make. We'll see though. They definitely need to add a pitcher. I'd love to see him. I've always been a fan of Tarek Skubal, but it's going to take a lot to get him. I know for sure.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they go after a guy like Garrett Crochet from the White Sox. I'd love to get him too. He's similar arm, strikeout guy. So
or Nick Lodolo, if Cincinnati's out of it.
Yeah. He's under control though for a while though, and he's young. So I don't know if they'd trade him. He's part of their young core. So
it's gonna be fun. Trade deadline's always fun. It's always fun. So
yes.
All right. Well, it's kind of getting late.
Yes.
This is our first midnight edition, by the way.
I know, right?
That was pretty cool. I think T fell asleep. Quiet storm. Yes. That's right. Savor this moment.
Right.
Yep. Well, I guess, Ryan, since you're back, tell everybody where they can find us.
Yes, of course. You can find The Real Tree Shaker Show on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. We are on X as well. Please follow us. You can hear us on Apple Podcasts. You can hear us on Spotify, on iHeart. Anywhere you listen to your podcasts, please hit that like and subscribe button. Check us out. We do it for the people, and we love to get your feedback.
Well said, my friend. Yeah, check us out on Listen Notes and Good Pods.
Yes.
Just help us out. Get some more listens. Sure. Let's go. We're going to be on the road soon anyways.
Yes. Shout out. ESPN.
It's going to be
Help
fun.
us out, Pat McAfee.
That's right. Oh, man, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But, all right, Ryan, my man, good to see you. Great talk.
Good to see you too.
T will be back next time. Thanks for listening. And as always, this has been The Real Tree Shaker Show.
Peace.